Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far and sound.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman. You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 203. Today we're talking about episode 8 of Skeleton Crew, The Real Good Guys. Trent will be joining me in a little bit as we recap the episode. But hey, we're 21 days into the new year. How's those New Year's resolutions going? I hope you are keeping with your goals and resolutions. It's always good to have a good target and, stay on target with those things. And sometimes it's hard. That's okay. It takes a couple tries to get into good habits. So wishing you the best on that. Hope you're having a good New Year so far. Obviously, celebrating Martin Luther King Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, just the other day. As much as we celebrate, the bad guys or really the guys that, shape sometimes the future in a different way, there's definitely individuals that are the light, and Martin Luther King Jr. is one of those things. And just love, he has so many different quotes and stuff like that, but I really like this one that he said. It says, "Love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. And he who loves is a participant in the being of God." I just really enjoyed that quote. I think it's a big thing, a big theme, kind of switching over to the Star Wars. It's a big theme of Star Wars. And really, without Luke's love, Darth Vader, Anakin, does not turn back to the light side. I think that's super, super powerful. It's one of the most powerful messages in Star Wars, I think. And this is a really good message from Martin Luther King Jr. in the real world. So we should, again, equality is huge. I mean, we have to treat people with the kindness and respect we want for ourselves. And I think that it shouldn't matter what race, religion, or whoever you are, that you should have that common respect for everybody. So super, super cool. It's always good to celebrate those, I would say, the heroes that we should be honoring on such of these occasions. It goes without saying. They're certain people could definitely change it for the worst, but there are certain people that could also change it for the good, and Martin Luther King Jr. is one of those people. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. Wait, not yet. No. We got a big lizard to talk about, Godzilla. So Godzilla has entered Fortnite. This dropped on the 17th. And so it's been teased for a little bit. Again, there's a little Japanese theme with this current Chapter 6, Season 1 Hunters. And Godzilla was in the game book, as far as like, this is coming. So it finally came, and basically you have Kong that comes in and drops some upgrades and then leaves, and then Godzilla enters the space, and basically similar to how they did with lightsabers with the Jedi Knights and the Star Wars kind of crossover, is you have this kind of rift where you jump in the rift and then you would come out and you would have a lightsaber. In this example, you're jumping in a rift and only one person could do it during the match, and you become Godzilla. So I haven't done it, but Trent's done it, Lil T's done it, and it's super, super cool. You get to be a big lizard for a little bit, and it's time sensitive. It's not, you can't be Godzilla forever, although that would be cool. It is earlier in the map, but I would love to see it later in the map, so that you could get a victory royale with like Godzilla. It would be great. But yeah, so as players that are not Godzilla, you got to shoot his little spiny things in the back and help weaken him. And it's also time-based, so even if it's damage, you don't take it there. You know, like you don't. You can't beat Godzilla for like 20 minutes. Basically, is what it gets down to. It's really like a 2-minute thing, which is still very cool, and you get to destroy buildings and blow your like radiation fire and all that fun stuff. So it is super fun. So that that triggered us. We had to watch Godzilla -1. I believe it's still on Netflix. I think that's where we watched it. And if you haven't seen this film, it's the first Godzilla film to win an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. We really enjoyed this one. It's super fun. The plot is really great. And it's set at kind of the World War II mark. So it's kind of I want to say a rehash, but it's not really a soft. It's just good. It's just really good. So if you not seen Godzilla -1, you gotta go see it. It's great. It is fantastic. It captures the human spirit, all that fun stuff, but it also has some good Godzilla bits in there. Lots of good Godzilla bits. So anyways, if you haven't checked it out, you gotta check that out, and that's on Netflix. So without further ado, we are gonna go into our quick review of Trent and I seeing the ending of Skeleton Crew, and then we'll come back and talk through some Easter eggs you might have missed. So let's do that right now. Yo.
What's up?
Skeleton Crew. So we had 2 questions, and we asked before, are we going to see the supervisor, and is the supervisor, well, actually, is the supervisor human or droid? And you said...
Chewbacca.
You said Chewbacca. I said droid.
I don't know, it was just being fun. It was just like...
Yeah. And so it was a droid.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was like a big mother brain power droid thingy.
You worship
and
the
then the other question we wanted to know is Jod a good guy, bad guy, or Jedi, or a pirate? And he was a pirate. Kind of more a bad guy. He was really kind of slimy this last episode. Yeah.
You know how easily I would have killed John. You know how easily when he's off guard, grabbed the lightsaber, just like decapitated.
Oh, you grabbed the lightsaber, decapitate him?
Like
Jeez.
Count Dooku. Do it.
He gone.
It would be simple.
Yeah. So lots of speeder bike chases in this one.
Yes.
A lot going on, but pretty satisfying ending. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
How many T's would you give it?
Like 90s.
90s? Yeah.
It was good.
Better than the Acolyte?
What do you mean? It was like a fight. It was not even.
It's not even close.
0.1. The only episode I really did like
was the lightsaber one. Yeah.
I liked that because he did not give a crap.
Yeah.
And the one with Plagueis, that was the only good one.
Yeah. So.
And everything else sucked.
But we had B-wings.
Yes.
And
do you know the guy?
Lots of explosions.
Yes. The guy from Acolytes and Squid Game. So.
Yes, that's where they got him from. Actually, they saw him as like, hey, and he had to learn the English language just to be in Acolyte, which is crazy. Hello. So, anyways, you say 90s? I would give it 90s. I think this is good. It was good. It was a fun story.
Yes.
Yeah, I would watch it again.
Yeah, I would.
But what did you talking about the kids? What did you didn't like?
Just everything.
About
like how they didn't like put more of what's it called? From a kid's perspective, it's just dumb because it's like, hey, all the grown-ups can do this. But in this one, the kids are the one that take the risk, and the parents are like, oh, don't do that. I know, but listen.
Okay.
So say like, hey, like in one of the shows, like one of the episodes, like, hey, they have more responsibilities. They can handle a weapon. They actually know combat.
Right.
And like I understand they're just from like the suburbs and stuff, but like at least in my opinion, it's just dumb how they didn't use like, oh, if he has a lightsaber, try to at least do some like attacks on him. Get at least a good couple. Like when he had a lightsaber.
When you talk about Wim.
Yes.
Wim never handled a lightsaber in his life.
Well, he's read about it before.
That's true. That he ignited it on the wrong end.
They didn't even use weapons. Like they had a weapon. Like I was surprised they didn't have any combat fight. Like Boba. Like as a kid, he was with the assassin group, right? With what's her name?
Yeah. With Aurora Singh.
Aurora Singh.
Yeah. But he was in but that was in a different time period of, I mean, they were sheltered. That was the thing.
Yeah.
They didn't know they just were accountants. That was one of the best lines when, like, Wim's dad's like, you haven't seen a level 7? like Lewis sounded like supervisor or something. It's like, I'm turning on the power. But overall, this is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, big T, little T. Next time. Peace. Okay, there you have it. I mean, on a scale, we're trying to scale things here, I guess, or rating them. I thought this was a solid ending. It wasn't like a wow, like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing that I'm losing my mind. And again, I kind of go back. The kind of the press, for me, it's always, Luke Skywalker episode, last episode of Mando season 2. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. And really, for me, kind of the second of that is like season 1 of Mando is when Gideon comes out with the Darksaber, and I'm just like, oh, we're legitimizing Clone Wars and everything that we learned in a silly cartoon. I thought that was really vindicating, but like, just having that moment of Luke in season 2 of Mando is just the pinnacle. Andor ends really strong. I really loved Andor season 1. And, some of these other ones, they've fallen a little flat. I mean, Ahsoka was pretty good with Anakin, and, I think there's, it wasn't like, even with Ahsoka, it wasn't like, wow, but still very cool. This one, kind of same thing. I wasn't like blown away, but at the same time, I wasn't like, like it fell flat. I thought, honestly, this was a super, super strong episode. So I saw this, thought it would be good to just kind of go through it. This is coming from Collider.com. It says, here are all the Easter eggs we spotted in the Skeleton Crew finale. Okay. So, usually with any article, it's like blah, 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 all this stuff. Okay. So the supervisor layer evokes feelings of Palpatine and Exegol. So if you remember, the supervisor is like a big, almost kind of probe droid looking thing. It looks really, really cool. But it does have kind of like these hanging pipes or data pipes or something, conduit, and it's kind of got this Exegol vibe, which I could totally see. And it was also pretty noticeable that, no humans have been there for quite some time, because it was quite the dusty thing. Okay, so totally get that. Next up, which is kind of interesting too, is like we met Tak Ren-Nod many episodes ago. So if, again, just the Tak is the captain of the Onyx Cinder and was able to kind of break the code, if you will, to get to Aden. That's where all the kind of pirate tales come from. And so this episode is when SM-33 confronts Jod, but Jod is looking at a skeleton like pinned to the wall, and he grabs the knife out of his heart, and essentially it grabs a knife and like keeps it, like wipes it off, and that is the captain. That's pretty cool. Ad-Aton still believes Jedi are traitors. So during this episode, basically the supervisor calls out Jod and says, well, I know you're lying because you're not a good guy because all the Jedi were wiped out. So as much as we know, that is kind of, they don't know that the Empire lost. They don't know a lot of things about what happened, but it's clearly they have enough news about Order 66 that Jedi are traitors. And so basically the supervisor calls Jod out like, nobody's business. Like, you lying to me. Order 66 played a key role in Jod's life. Again, you don't need a ton of backstory. We were talking about, was Jod a good guy, bad guy, pirate, or a Jedi? And really where we land is he's a pirate. At the end of the day, he's a pirate. But we get a little backstory here where essentially he says, hey, I'm a street rat, and a Jedi takes him in. They begin training. He had potential, but then when Order 66 happened, the Jedi was hunted down, and obviously he's left back in the streets. So we get that piece there. Again, Order 66, pretty prevalent event in how the galaxy is shaped with that, with that kind of genocide thing going on. We didn't mention this. Trent and I didn't mention this. This was definitely super cool. The B-Wing shows off their skills in a live-action Star Wars for the first time. So, flashback to Return of the Jedi. B-Wings are designed. You can see one in the hangar on a matte painting, basically. But you barely see them in the actual fight. And part of the reason is that they just couldn't get it to look good on the green screen from a model's perspective. The wings were too thin and it just didn't show right. So you could barely see them in Return of the Jedi. So they're there, but it's very brief. Pretty much like some of these Easter eggs in Star Wars, right? But it definitely was highlighted in Rebels, where you have the Mon Cal developing the bladed wing, if you will. But we get to see the quad laser B-Wing. And if you ever, this is old school, if you ever played the X-Wing flight simulator game on the PC, there is an added add-on. I think one of the add-ons you were able to play or fly as a B-Wing, and it's a tank, dude. It's great, and I just love seeing this in live action. Really for, I would say, kind of the first time, because it's just so brief in Return of the Jedi, but it's just really cool to see that. KB mirrors the B1 battle droid. Okay, so what this means is that, or it says mirrors this heartbreaking B1 battle droid. Okay, so a little gag as Jod is looking for SM-33. He powers on a B1 battle droid, and he's like, did we win? Because like that's the first thing he's like, hey, did we win or did we do our thing? And they did not win, unfortunately, but that's okay. So that's super, super funny. But then you have KB. When she wakes up, she steals a ship. She's doing all this kind of hero stuff. And when she finally comes to, she also says, hey, did we win? Which is great. And that's super, super fun. And then finally, I think this last one, a CR-90 Corvette arrives as a symbol of hope. So at the end of this mission, we have the New Republic showing up with X-Wings and the Corvette, and we have the Corvette kind of, so I always thought we're going to see some kind of ambassador, maybe somebody in the New Republic, but we just got to see the ship, and it does evoke some hope where it's like, oh, this is, like there's somebody important in that, and it's like that kind of cool, like, hey, this is we see you and hear you, and we're going to help you. So that's super, super cool. So thanks, Collider, for all that fun stuff. I think that's super cool when you see stuff like that happen, and you got we love the Easter eggs. It's Star Wars. We love it. We love it. So okay, so light it all up. What has been your favorite thing about Skeleton Crew? Please email us at bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com. We would love to read your what your thoughts on, or what was your favorite thing about Skeleton Crew. I have a couple. I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, the biggest one for us, and such a hit home because we have hermit crabs, just seeing the crab and that stop motion, the big mama crab and the little hermit crabs with all their little droid parts. I just love that part. It's so great. I mean, I really do love Jod too. Super complex, a great character, really, really super cool. So there's a lot to be, is it effects? Is it the show? Is it kids? What is it? Let me know. I mean, again, number one in my heart, Neil Nation for life, man. Love Neil. And we got to see Neil one more time in the bubble bath. Love it. Okay. So Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses, thanks again for listening to another episode of Big T, Little T, officially 203 in the books. Okay, we can be found on the socials, Big T, Little T Podcast, Instagram, BLILT Podcast on the X, and then twitch.tv/Big T, Little T. We just entered the Blue Sky. I got to update my notes here and put that in there, but we're also on Blue Sky, so follow us out there. We got stickers, so we want to hear from you, so comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review on Spotify, and then email us again at bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com. If you drop us a question or give us a rating, we will send swag in your face. Next week, well, we'll probably be talking about Star Wars. Probably altering our schedule since there's not a weekly show right now. That was our last one. Say it ain't so. But we are going to kind of take a little break, kind of reassess, get the schedule going, and really, probably go on a 2-week schedule till we get to Andor, which is in April, and that should be super, super fun. But more episodes to come, don't you worry. And now remember, truly wonderful the mind of the child is, and may the Force be with you always. Bye, 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 bye.